Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever wanted to ask someone what they do for a living, but in Spanish? Well, today we're going to build that exact piece of your vocabulary. It's super practical, totally essential, and trust me, it's a lot easier than you might think.
So how do you actually talk about jobs in Spanish? I mean, it's one of the first things we ask when we meet new people, right? So what do you do? By the end of this quick explainer, you'll be able to ask that, understand the answer, and give one yourself with total confidence.
Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to learn 10 really common professions. We'll get the words down, figure out the grammar, and make sure we're saying them right. Let's jump right in. First things first, there's one really important rule we have to get down because it basically unlocks everything else. We're talking about masculine and feminine forms. This is the absolute foundation for talking about people in Spanish, so it's a big one. So here's the deal. In Spanish, nouns for jobs, and lots of other things, have a gender. Now, this has nothing to do with the person, it's just a rule of the language. You show this gender in two main ways, with the little word in front, the article, that's el for masculine and la for feminine, and often by changing the very end of the word itself. Let's look at a perfect example. Take the word for police officer, policía. Now, notice the word itself doesn't change. You just switch the article out front. El policía is a policeman, and la policía is a policewoman. See? That tiny little word does all the work.
Okay, now that we've got that key rule under our belts, it's time for the fun stuff. Let's start building up our vocabulary and put this new grammar know-how into practice.
So first up, we're going to look at a group of jobs where the ending of the word actually changes to match the gender. This is a super common pattern in Spanish, so it's a great one to learn first. Check out this list. For a male teacher, you say el profesor. But for a female teacher, you add an A at the end to make it la profesora. See that pattern? It's the same for cook. El cocinero becomes la cocinera. And for waiter, el camarero becomes la camarera. Finally, a delivery person is el repartidor or la repartidora. That O to A switch is a classic sign. Now for our next set of professions. Let's dive in and see how these work. All right, so for these, the gender is really shown by that article el or la. So for a male firefighter, you have el bombero. For a female firefighter, you guessed it, la bombera. It's the same idea for a doctor. El médico becomes la médica. And for a scientist, el científico, la científica. You're really seeing that pattern of changing the article and the ending. Okay, you've seen the rules, you've learned the words. Are you ready? It's time for a quick test. No pressure at all. This is just for fun to see what's sticking. Let's do it. Okay, first one. Picture this. You're in a cafe in Madrid and you need to get someone's attention. How do you say the waiter? Go on. Think about it for a second. Did you get it? It's el camarero. Fantastic job if you remembered that one. That O at the end is our big clue for the masculine form. All right, ready for the next one? This one's a bit more specific. How would you say the female doctor? Remember to think about both the article and that ending. Yes, la médica. Perfect. You got la for the article and that A at the end to show you're talking about a woman. Excellent. Let's keep it going. Imagine you just had an amazing meal and you want to talk about the person who made it. How would you refer to the cook? That's it. It would be el cocinero for a man or la cocinera for a woman. This is one of those classic words where the ending changes. You are totally getting the hang of this. Last one, let's bring it all home. Let's say you're talking about a brilliant researcher. How do you say the scientist? And the answer is el científico or la científica. You did it. That completes our little quiz. Seriously, fantastic work. All right, before we wrap up, let's just do a super quick recap. Boiling it down to the main points is the best way to help it all stick in your brain. So what are the big takeaways? Rule number 1, use el for masculine and la for feminine. That's your foundation. Rule number 2, remember that a lot of jobs change their ending. Usually that O flips to an A. Rule 3, and some jobs, well, they use the exact same word for both genders. You just change the article. But really, the most important rule of all, practice makes perfect. And that's a wrap. Think about it. In just a few minutes, you've added 10 super useful professions to your Spanish vocabulary. That is a huge step forward. Excelente. So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you have these words, which one are you going to try to use in a conversation first? Think about it, because actually using the language is what makes it all real. Thanks so much for joining me.